My guest today is Vineet Puri. We've known each other from Montreal, growing up in Montreal. We're pretty much considered the OGs of the East Indian community.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Right? I mean, you remember the days where we used to go clubbing and partying till 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And might have met up at the castle.
Yeah.
Right? On St. Jacques
Yeah.
for brunch.
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
We would go clubbing till 3 a.m. and then everyone would go to Picasso, which was a restaurant on St. Jacques Street, next to a strip joint.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right?
I don't remember that part, but...
Neither do I. Everyone would go there and have breakfast, and a heavy breakfast, till about 6, 7 in the morning. I remember going home to my dad having breakfast at home saying, "Good morning, son. Where are you coming from?" I'm like, out partying. He goes, "Come have breakfast." I go, "Oh no, I've already had breakfast." But that was a good time.
Those were good old days.
Yeah, good old days. And then we grew up.
And then we grew up, had to change our role.
Change
identity.
Our role. Exactly.
Yeah.
Vineet, tell me a little bit of your background. You went to school where, and what did you end up graduating in, and what do you do?
So I went to Wager. Do you know Wager?
Of course, I remember Wager.
Wager in Côte St. Luc. Did a couple of years there. And then my mom and dad decided to move out of the NDG area.
Right? You were in NDG Westmount.
NDG
Montreal West.
Montreal West area.
Correct.
Then they said, you know what? We're going to move to an area called Kirkland.
Wow.
I'm like, Kirkland? I mean, where is that? They're like half hour away. We went there, all farmland all around. So we built a new life there in Kirkland, and I've been there ever since for the last 34 years. So from Wager, moved to Kirkland, went to Beaconsfield High School,
Aye.
and then John Abbott.
Awesome.
John Abbott to Concordia.
Amazing.
Concordia, were you?
A little bit.
A little bit, right?
I took another avenue out.
Okay.
Into the basically entrepreneurship.
There you go. So from Concordia, then I did my BCom, right, at Concordia. Then we did a banking course, right, 2 decades ago.
Wow.
1999, and then I did my financial planning in 2000, and here I am.
Then here you are.
Here we are. Yeah.
You're a successful businessman and done well.
We try.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We grind, we hustle, we do whatever we have to do to...
I saw a meme recently, and hustle basically is, what it really means is, by all means, doing whatever is necessary to put money in your hands.
Yeah.
That's what hustle is.
Yeah.
Right? You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
But you're in the banking industry, so you're working with money all the time.
I'm working with money all the time, which is a lot of fun. I've always loved money. Growing up, I love holding money in my hand.
Amazing.
Seeing that $20
change.
bill. Now today's change.
Yeah.
So I've always been playing with money, loving money, playing Monopoly, poker.
You love poker.
Money, chips on the table. Right, going all in. So yeah,
I got into poker in Calgary when I was living there between 2007 and 2017. My wife's cousin Nav got me into poker.
Yeah.
And we went through a phase where I would go to the poker room pretty much 2-3 times a week to enter tournaments.
Right.
And I did really well. Sometimes I got to the final table. And it was really, obviously we all see each other playing WPT someday.
Yeah, one day,
right? And win that, $10-20 million?
That $10 million prize with a watch.
Have you often watched TV at nighttime and just watch poker on TV?
Daily. Back in the day. Back until 3 years ago, then I said, what am I doing? But at one point I was watching it on YouTube. Loved it. It was a lot of fun.
I've seen your posts sometimes. You're like you're showing your chips while you're playing. I'm all in. Perfect.
I'm all in.
It's good, man.
Yeah, it's an adrenaline, a rush.
It is, and it's also a de-stressor, I would say.
It is. When you're on the table, it's like you're away from that world, right? The reality.
The reality, exactly.
Right.
You enter a new reality at that point.
Yeah.
But one thing that stood out with you was your email address. For me, that stood out.
Really? Out of all things.
Vinvestor. I was like, okay, this guy, he's up to something because he's obviously, Vinvestor. So he's an investor.
Yeah.
Or you're catering to investors.
Both.
So tell me a little bit how you got to that email address. Because there's a story behind it, I'm sure.
So again, I've loved money. I loved playing with money, and I wanted to know how to make more of it, right?
Sure.
And growing up, my mom and dad always taught me that you need to save your money. You need to put that money away for one day, for your kids, your retirement, whatever it is. And my mom always told me, you put $1 away and you invest it. In a year, it could be maybe $1.50. I mean,
Yeah.
let's talk in bigger terms, but
Yeah.
that was the principle of it. And I love that notion. Putting money away, not doing anything, and a year from now, I'm going to get more back.
Sure.
Right? In principle.
Hopefully you're accruing interest.
There you go.
These days, you put $1 away, you got 90 cents left.
Yeah. Exactly. In principle, you invest money, you're supposed to make money, right?
Exactly.
So then it just manifested over time. I loved it. I wanted to get into real estate. I got into investment. To follow the stock market.
Right.
I was heavily involved. And I decided, one day I had to write an email. I had to I was creating a company for myself. And I'm thinking, I didn't want to have Vineets or a Vineet Puri. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep something different. Somehow I just put it together.
Amazing.
But you're not the only one to say that. A lot of people go, oh, I remember your email.
Yeah.
Weird.
No, it's good. Unique email address, and that's an identity, and this is a lesson for people. You have to stay unique online, and that's where people remember you. Gone are the days of business cards. Really.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. But I remember 20 years back, that was the only means. And remember, even when they're...
Now they have that digital business card, or they say, give me your Instagram handle or your LinkedIn account.
Absolutely.
Right?
It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Vineet, let's talk about the real estate market in Montreal in particular, because we're here over the last decade. And what we noticed in Montreal was we're still underpriced than rest of Canada.
Yeah.
And you managed to invest, I don't know, with your partners or a loan. I don't know how you did that. I'd love for you to touch on that. But what was your formula of buying properties here? And what type of properties did you get into?
The first property I bought with myself and a couple of my friends, we got in together. And at that time, we didn't have too much money. So the only way to get in was to pool our money together. And we got in 2010. 2010, we bought our first property together in the McGill area.
Okay.
So we wanted to be in an area was heavily driven by students.
Students, sure.
And McGill will always be around.
Absolutely.
So we didn't want to deal with the other type of tenant. We wanted to go more into student residence. So we built our formula around that.
Okay.
A different formula, but it worked. And I know a lot of people are always worried about, like you were saying, fluctuation. Market goes up, market goes down. But we didn't have to worry about that. We did not want to worry about that. So our focus was long-term.
Of course, and you don't think the students are going to not come to school? They're
going to come to school. McGill will be there. I don't think tomorrow McGill will close their door.
No.
I hope not. And so when you take away, when your focus is long-term, you take away the short-term fluctuation.
Correct.
Because you're not in the game for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to be, we're not worried about the political issues. We're not worried about COVID. 2 years that it hurt us a bit.
Yeah,
we're in it for the long term.
Sure.
So you take away the guesstimating, the speculation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I tell a lot of my friends. I try to tell them to get into it because they're all worried. They're worried about tenants. They're worried about the market dropping tomorrow. But I tell them, get in, jump in, dive in.
Yeah.
Long-term gain.
Short-term pain.
Short-term pain, long-term gain. And just stay invested.
Right.
That's my main advice to my friends and family and my clients too.
So that was your formula, and you basically weathered the storm, right? That first year of COVID, a lot of people got hurt.
Yeah.
And of course, if that was your main market, students were coming in town. And remember, I was managing one property on Sherbrooke as well, a condo, and same thing. We were all kind of hurting, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, because now all of a sudden the students are not coming to Montreal.
Correct.
They're doing everything online from China, from India, from UK, wherever it is.
Yeah.
They don't need your apartment anymore.
No.
So these storms happen once in every how often?
I'd say once. This one here, once in 100 years.
There you go. So
Right.
you know what? Like that's why I keep telling everyone, focus on the long term. You'll be okay.
Correct. So, Vineet, you told me a little bit that you have partners in your
Yeah.
business. How many partners are in your corporation, or do you do limited partnerships per project?
Per project, but mainly there's always myself and two others.
Okay.
Okay. Partnership is interesting. I mean, it gives you more access to funding,
Right.
right? Because if you're limited to funding, at least
Absolutely.
with two others, they're able to get their own funding as
Correct.
well. So you pull your money together. I love it. So far in 20 years I've been doing, or 15, 14 years I've been doing it, I've never had issues. Everyone's always afraid.
Yeah, of course.
You could fall out,
Of course.
arguments on the same page. It could happen. Up to now, we've never really had any issues.
I guess the thing is, if people are like-minded and you're making money together,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you've seen success off of one project, then the partners will keep on reinvesting.
Mm-hmm.
My philosophy was always learn from experiences. It's hard to do business with friends, but it's easier to become friends with people you do business with, and that's kind of my mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And that keeps your friends around, and people understand that you're keeping your business separate and your friendships separate,
Mm-hmm.
which is good until you come up with a big opportunity where you need investors to come in. Now all of a sudden, if everyone's protected against an asset, that's a different story. So I don't know how you guys invest, but
Yeah, like yes, I mean we have everything is incorporated.
right,
We have a lawyer drop a contract, which is really important to keep everything black and white
yes,
and honest,
yes,
right? We so there's no hanky panky,
no,
none of that. And the people I have part of my partnership, I have full trust in them. We've been doing it, like I said, for 15 years, no issues whatsoever, and we all fill the void.
good.
We all have an added value to the group.
You need that. Everyone's got to do something.
But I'm zero when it comes to hammering
Yeah.
a picture on the wall. Zero.
You should
I'm
be
negative.
like a person that could be very handy.
Zero.
Zero?
I'm negative. I'm a liability. But my other two,
Yeah.
there's one who's handy in the group.
Perfect. So he's the one with the drill.
He's the one with the drill and the screwdriver. I'm the one who'll go talk to the tenants, close a deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we all have a different role in the group.
Okay, good.
So we work it out like that.
That's amazing.
Sounds like marriage, right? Yeah.
The banking industry, has it evolved since you've been a part of it? Obviously,
yeah.
we've come to from actual businesses having major checkbooks and depositing checks only to going digital, right? Online. So over the last 2 decades, what's your
In 20 years of being in banking, that's been the main
right?
change is the technology.
Technology.
It's incredible how far we've come. Now clients could sign from the other
Anywhere.
side of Quebec
Yeah,
a document with me
yeah,
online.
yeah.
They sign. Life is beautiful.
We've been doing that in real estate industry now for the last, I'd say 5-6 years easily.
Oh, yeah.
10 years really.
Yeah.
Authentisign we've been using, and our clients sign virtually all the time.
Yeah.
So I know banking was to follow, and it did.
And we're there now.
Correct.
We're there. We got there, and we're there. COVID probably helped accelerate that.
It did. Banking industry. Do you're obviously reading online. You know, there's a digital currency coming in, the CBDC. Do you think
Yeah.
that's coming into Canada quickly, or it's going to take its time?
From what I see, from what I hear, the technology aspect, they're going to try to implement that. And yes, maybe one day we will go to digital currency, but the Bitcoin
Spoken
part
like
of
a
it,
politician.
I know, I'm trying to be very black and white here, right?
But you do believe it's not Bitcoin. It's a
Okay,
CBDC.
okay, fine.
Central
CBD,
bank
it will
digital
come.
currency.
It has to come.
It
You
has
know
to
what?
come.
If you ask me for a loonie today or 50 cents, I don't have it.
Right.
I'll give you maybe
That
an
loonie-
e-transfer.
No, but that
I'll
loonie's not
e-transfer
worth a
that.
loonie anymore.
Yeah.
It's worth 80 cents.
Yeah, and I'll e-transfer that 80 cents.
Exactly. Well, give me more than that.
Okay, I'll
80
give you
cents
more.
is just a fee.
I know.
Okay, perfect. Good. So you do believe a digital currency is in the works and it's going to come. I think our friends and our guardians of the world meeting in Davos right now are talking about this, and this is coming up. So it's going to happen.
It will happen. You can't fight it.
No, no. I watch U.S. politics a lot and U.S. news, and of course there it's openly discussed.
Yeah.
It is coming. So anything that happens in the U.S. gets implemented here.
Yeah, we follow suit.
Where
what Big Brother does, we do.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. While I was living in Calgary, I would frequently come back to Montreal, and of course Montreal's home, so I loved it. And I noticed that you were throwing these wonderful Diwali parties and other dinner and dances, and you have partners in that as well. And I was like, wow, Vineet's done a great job. I went to one of the Diwali bashes, and there was like 1,000 people there, and I was blown away. I was like, wow, this is amazing. It brought back my youth, and I saw the light show, the DJs, the people dressed up, and the vibrant food, music, and people. I mean, it was just amazing, right? And we had a blast there, and we've wanted to come, go back every year to the volleyball. And you've done a great job with that.
Thank you.
How did it start, and where did you get involved with that?
It started 9 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. We'd had our 7th official one.
Okay.
2 years we lost because of COVID.
Yes.
The reason why we wanted to do it, just to get the community together. We have such an amazing culture, historic values, traditions, but we don't share it enough. We don't celebrate it enough. I don't, in Montreal at least.
Correct.
I know Toronto, they do. New Jersey, New York, Vancouver. But in Montreal, I felt that there was a lack, there was a void. And I wanted to get the community together.
Right.
You create a platform, get people together under one roof, celebrate, get to know each other, right? Create, create relationships, infinities with other people that you don't know from the community.
Of course. And I think every guest of yours wanted to go back for more.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it got bigger and bigger every year.
It got bigger and bigger.
And maybe the COVID thing was good because you had a little pause, a break to kind of really reevaluate.
Right. Yeah. When we started, Garish, myself, and Atul, we started with 250 people.
It's amazing.
250 friends and family only.
Right.
And that just created a snowball effect every year.
You know why? Because of Investor.
Yeah, my email.
I'll put my money.
My email.
Look at it. It's compound interest right there.
You're right. You're right. So then 250 became 350 to 500,
I'm going to give him $1,000 right now.
800. Yeah.
Done. I like it.
Yeah.
No, it's a great event, and I can't wait to be a part of the next one. I have family and friends waiting for it, so everyone loves the volleyball. So next year, I think it's in October. People watch out for it. You'll hear a lot about it.
Yeah, for sure.
We also touched about another thing that we want to do, and I think this is something that you and I were discussing over our wonderful cigar the other day. We were talking about doing a young professionals mixer, a cocktail event over the next little while.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a wonderful addition to the Montreal South Asian business community.
Yeah,
right?
we need it. We should do it and get
not only business, entrepreneurial community.
Entrepreneur, the young professionals, get everyone involved.
Correct. So watch out for that. We're going to start promoting this pretty soon.
Yeah.
We have no idea where we're going to do it, what we're going to do.
Right. But we're doing it.
Vineet, I want to ask you, do you think the Indian community and the South Asian community supports its community, us South Asians, enough?
I would think that there's more to do. There's got to be more effort.
Right.
If I see one of my people from my community, he owns a dépanneur, I will try to make it a effort to go and support him.
Dépanneur is a corner store where you get
corner store.
milk and bread.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only a Quebec thing.
Right. But I would like to see our community back each other up more.
More, right?
Right.
And I think something has to happen, and you have to become a community leader, and you have to do it yourself.
Right.
No one else is going to do it. If you wait for somebody else to do it, it's probably not going to happen. That's like everything in the world. So this is how I commend you on taking initiative and taking action, and this is where I'm stepping up to the table as well.
Right. We all need to, right? In order for our community to prosper, to grow, we need to be behind each other.
Absolutely. Your parents came to Canada in 80s, I believe?
70s.
70s.
Yeah.
Oh, so my dad too. My dad emigrated 74. So same time. So we're
Same time,
roughly the
yeah.
same age group,
Yeah.
me and you.
Yeah.
Which we're not going to say.
We're not going to disclose that.
We look pretty young for our age right now, I'll tell you that much. And you've seen how the Montreal South Asian community has evolved and grown, but we've also seen a mass exodus in 95 during the referendum, 95, 94, right? A lot of people left to Toronto and
Left to
Ottawa.
Toronto, yeah. Yeah, but now, it's quite, if you go to Vaudreuil, have you been to Vaudreuil lately?
Yeah, it's like a lot of East Indians.
Yeah, they're coming back.
They're coming back.
They're coming back, and that shows you that Montreal has a good future.
It
A
does.
lot of opportunity here. Yes, there's always that language issue, but you know what? If you embrace it,
You can embrace it.
and Montreal is a very affordable city compared to Toronto,
Or
Vancouver.
Calgary.
Yeah, so Montreal, there's a lot to offer over
But
here.
we do pay a lot in taxes,
Yeah, we do.
right?
Yeah,
Now,
we
just
do.
if you were incorporated even in another province like Alberta,
Yeah.
you pay very little tax.
I know. That's the only thing I wish there was something we can do about that. But
There always is something you could do.
yeah, next segment.
Next time we'll talk to you about that.
Yeah.
But the community did grow over here.
Yeah, it did.
and it is so. My vlog is called More Quebec, My Quebec, and the reason why I did this was to get professional advice of young professionals like yourself, people who are in the business community in Montreal, to give me your take and give us your take about doing business in Montreal. So what would be your advice to somebody that is looking at moving to Montreal, moving their business over here?
Well, they definitely have to embrace the French culture.
Yes.
They have to be open to it. They cannot come here and say, you know what, I live in Quebec. I'm moving to Quebec. They should accept me. I'm not going to learn French. You need to come have an open mind.
Yes, absolutely.
If you have that open mind and you, like I was mentioning the word embrace, you'll be. It's a beautiful place.
It is.
There's a lot to offer here.
So much, right? It's a vast land alone.
Land, affordability,
Yeah.
the population, they're good people.
Yeah.
Food, the food, the culture, the nightlife.
The nightlife.
Can't compare.
No.
I think Montreal, hands down, take away the weather
Yes.
in the winter,
Yes.
is probably the best city in North America.
I totally agree. And, everyone from Montreal, I'd say 90% of the people in Montreal believe that.
I believe. Yeah.
And you go across Canada, everyone out there wants to come back to Montreal and visit Montreal because the nightlife, the food, and the environment, the ambiance.
I have friends in Toronto. They move there.
Yeah.
They have no choice but to stay there because that's their livelihood,
Yeah.
their career. But they miss Montreal.
Yeah.
They miss the intimacy, the poutine. They miss the
They say
nightlife.
poutine, right?
Yeah, poutine.
Yeah.
They miss all of that, the intimacy, being together. My friends in Toronto don't get to meet.
No, it's they're very segregated out there.
Very
They're
segregated.
different groups, they stick with their own groups. Over
Yeah.
here, we have that multiculturalism. We
That
have
too,
that
that
the mixing happening,
That too.
right?
That
Which
too.
you don't see that everywhere.
No, over there they'll meet each other, the friends, maybe once every 3 months.
Correct.
If they're lucky.
Correct.
Here we meet each other maybe every second day.
Yeah.
Every second day
Why
there's
not?
something happening.
There's something happening. Vineet, what do you think about the real estate market now? We're in January, and a lot of the realtors and the brokers and even mortgage brokers out there are sounding the alarm, saying that, the interest rates are going high, and people can't get their financing together. It's more difficult for people, which I've kind of seen, and the market is going to crash, and the prices are going to crash. What do you think about that?
I don't think that the word crash, I think that's a harsh word. Calming, prices will stable a bit.
Stabilize, yeah.
Stabilize. I think we needed that.
Yeah.
It was going crazy.
But we were still underpriced than the rest of Canada.
Right. Yeah.
Like our neighbors in Toronto. Imagine that.
Yeah.
A small semi-detached is selling for $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
It didn't make sense. It needed to come to a...
In Brampton.
Yeah. Yeah. And over here, you see a home in Vaudreuil selling 2 years ago
Right.
for 600. Now people are putting
multiple.
offers at 800.
Yeah. My take is that the market is very healthy right now. We might have a little bit of a roller coaster ride, but what I see is the property values are not going to crash. As I'm seeing a drove of buyers right now, I'm talking to. There's a lot of people that are pre-approved that missed their opportunities last year. Right? There was like imagine a bidding war happening. There's 10 offers per one property. What happened to the other 9 people? They're still waiting.
They're waiting,
and they of course they had their pre-approvals at that time, but now they had to basically put in more money probably, maybe go after instead of a $900,000 house, maybe get a $600,000 house.
There you go.
But they're still buying.
Yeah.
And we're out there with our buyers every day showing houses.
And I feel that as buyers realize the rates are not going to be going down anytime soon,
No, we might have another.
they'll have
hike.
to accept that. They'll have to jump into the market. They're not going to keep on paying rent.
No,
it doesn't
exactly.
make sense. Eventually, they're going to have to come to terms.
Yeah.
And now these days, they probably have more negotiating power versus a year ago versus summertime.
I've seen that with the offers I'm putting in right now. We're going down. Like there's a property that was listed for $499. My client tells me go in at $399. I told the guy, "Are you crazy? Can't go in at $399." So okay, let's go $50,000 less and see what happens.
Right.
And we got a pretty good discount for the buyer. I was surprised.
But then a few months ago, that wouldn't have.
No, then you'd have to 50,000 over.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there is a give and take.
Yes.
Higher rates, but better deals on the market.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm telling my clients. Vineet, you're married. You have 2 kids, girl, boy. Right? How old are they again?
Arian, my son, is 13.
Right.
And daughter is 11.
I always forget to. Don't worry. So, how has being a dad changed you?
Good question. I mean, I would say number one, it's no longer about you.
Correct.
Family comes first. So every decision that you make, you're always thinking, how will it impact my family?
Right.
Right? Back in the day, I can go on a shark diving excursion.
Right.
And not care. If I get my leg bitten off or my arm,
right,
life moves on. Now,
I wouldn't do that, but
I would think 5 times before doing it.
Right.
If anything happens to me, how are my kids going to be impacted?
Of course.
So your decisions are more. You tend to become a little more conservative.
Right.
The cowboy mentality. Slow down a little bit.
So you're pretty much a family man.
You become a family man. You mold into the family man. You try to back to our initial conversation: hustle, grind.
Correct.
Everything that you do is for them.
Everything you do. I remember when my son was born, I held him in my hands, and at that point, life flashed and said, "It's not about me anymore. It's about this little guy and the family." Right? I think everyone goes through this. Everyone wants to see their new baby. Around the house, I mean, how do you have a work-life balance? Who does the laundry in the house? Do you do the laundry?
I do no laundry. I don't even know how to do laundry.
I don't know how to do laundry either.
Embarrassing as it may sound, but I'm. If it wasn't for my wife, the house would be.
That's why they say behind every successful man,
there's a stronger.
More successful woman.
More successful woman.
Yeah. Vineet, thank you so much for meeting up, and I think this was great, getting to know more about your professional life, personal life, and joining me on my journey with Quebec, my Quebec. This is our Quebec, and we are proud to be Quebecers. And vive le Quebec!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.